It's a frigid February day in Logan, Utah with a hot Mountain West matchup on tap at the Spectrum on the campus of Utah State University. And the Aggies are coming off one of their best Januaries in the last 9 seasons, while UNLV looks to snap a 2-game losing streak, but they're going to have to do it at a very tough place to play. We welcome you to the Spectrum. Jenny Kavnar with Joe Cravens today. Coach, you have coached plenty of games in this arena. It is a tough place to play.
Well, Jenny, this is one of the toughest but best college atmosphere in all of college basketball. And today you're going to see one of the best college basketball players in all of college basketball, and Sam Merrill. He is terrific.
He is certainly making a case to be the Mountain West MVP, but there's a couple of freshmen to keep your eyes peeled for, too. For UNLV, it's Joel Tomboy, and then it's the big man, Namish Keita for Utah State.
Well, Keita's a 6'11" center from Portugal, and at times his length and quickness around the basketball is near jaw-dropping. He has taken the Mountain West Conference by storm. He leads the league in conference games in blocks and field goals while averaging almost a double-double, and he is the rim protector in the Mountain West Conference. Joel Tomboy at 6'9" is more a face-the-basket type player. He can get it to the rim, but he can also shoot it from the perimeter. In conference play, he's leading his running Rebels in scoring, rebounding, and he's shooting 40% from the three-point line. Jenny, these are two of the bright, young, shining stars in the Mountain West Conference.
He is a dynamic player, no doubt, but UNLV has been hit with that injury bug, and Tomboy no exception. He's going to be playing with some bruised ribs, not 100%, but should be a big part of the game today for the Rebels. They're going to need everything they have because it is a tough place at the Spectrum, as we mentioned. The Aggies 9-1 at home. Mountain West basketball coming your way next. Welcome back to Logan, Utah for Mountain West basketball on AT&T Sportsnet. UNLV at Utah State, and here's a look at the starting lineups. UNLV, they're going to go small. Nick Blair started last game. He'll be back in the lineup today with Clyburn, Hardy, Robotham, and Joel Tomboy. As for Utah State, Sam Merrill, the leader of the pack. Abel Porter come on strong halfway through conference. Brock Miller, Keita, and Quinn Taylor to round things out. Let's get to the conference leaders, brought to you by USAA. And it is Sam Merrill leading the way in the Mountain West Conference, right behind Justin James from Wyoming, averaging 19.4 points per game. This is a guy that can shoot, and you got to be ready for him to shoot anywhere.
Well, Sam Merrill, as the second leading scorer in the league, Jenny, does so much more than just score. He is a terrific passer, a great rebounder, and the best defender on this entire Aggie team.
Well, the Aggies led by first-year head coach Craig Smith, and he is off to a fast start. The people of Logan, Utah, so happy for his arrival. They had 11 wins in non-conference, 6-2 right now in conference. That's their best start since 2010-2011 season.
Jenny, they were picked 9th in the preseason poll. I think they are the surprise team in the league. Let's just see if they can finish now. We're in the month of February, and these are the ones that count down the stretch.
Coach has a lot of energy, expects his team to play the same way, and Utah State has won the tip, so Abel Porter will have the ball to start for the Aggies. And Merrill right away firing a 3 off the mark, and UNLV with the first rebound of the game. That's going to be something to watch as well. Both these teams very good rebounders.
Well, these are the two top rebounding teams in the Mountain West Conference, and UNLV particularly strong in offensive rebounding, averaging 14 offensive rebounds over the last 4 games. Sometimes their best offense is to throw it up there and then go fetch it and put it back in.
UNLV down to single digits, and Harding takes it all the way in for the first score of the game.
That was a bad matchup. That was a big Quinn Taylor trying to guard Amari Hardy, and that was a big on the small and the perimeter, and that didn't work out very well.
Well, you talk about a bad matchup right there. Keita with Nick Blair standing all 6'5". Foul called on the floor. So Nick Blair with the foul, and you see Marvin Menzies, the third-year head coach for the Rebels. Made a great 3-0 start in conference.
Sam Merrill has such a efficient offensive game, Jenny. That time a little short shot fake. Got two guys up in the air, two dribbles to the basket. He is economy of motion personified.
And Nick Blair found wide open from Hardy on the pass, but turnover to Utah State, and Porter's going to keep it for the points.
Abel Porter has really come on for the Aggies since he's taken over 3 games ago in that starting point guard position. Hit the game winner against New Mexico, and he's playing with a lot of confidence now.
Blair off the mark, and Utah State coming up with the rebound.
The one thing UNLV wants to do is not shoot very quickly, and one thing they want to do is not let that big fella catch it down on the block. Man, is he long.
The 32nd dunk of the year for Keita. Fun player, dynamic player to watch. And this crowd is definitely energized by his personality.
Well, he just kind of came out of nowhere. Craig Smith gets the job, and all of a sudden you see signs a guy 6'11" from Portugal. No one knew anything about him. He has had the biggest impact of not only a freshman, of any guy in the league, in my mind.
Miller misses long on the rebound. Clyburn to Robotham, pulls up for 3. In and out. And UNLV can't seem to get their offense going.
Well, in talking to UNLV's coaching staff, they wanted to be a little bit more patient. You notice that first possession, they got the ball moved and reversed 2 or 3 times. The last 3 possessions, they shot it off 1 pass.
Sam Merrill comes inside, and a frustrating call for Nick Blair because he picks up his 2nd foul just a couple minutes into the game.
Well, UNLV's got some tough matchups here. And again, Sam Merrill's not one of those guys that has that eye-popping type speed. He just kind of very efficiently gets by you. That's twice he's had the ball. His last 2 times he missed on his first shot that he's got all the way to the rim. And at 6'6" and 205 pounds, he's a pretty powerful big guard as well.
So Mbake Jong checking in for the Rebels. Nick Blair will come out with his 2 fouls, and Zhang has been subject to injury as well this year. Not 100%. He did play 19 minutes against Nevada, but
this whole UNLV team has been riddled by injuries this year. Jenny, Marvin Menzies done a terrific job of managing all. They've gone from starting a big lineup to a small lineup like they did today, and there'll be some real challenging matchups for them playing against a bigger Aggie team.
So UNLV is going to call a timeout as Robotham lost the ball and had to gather it quickly on the floor. Also probably a good time to just regroup and regather after those quick fouls, and they're down 8-2. Let's get right to our keys to the game today, Coach.
Well, for the visiting Running Rebels, they've got to keep their bigs out of foul trouble. They're not very deep. Last game they had huge foul trouble across that front line, and then they got to keep it close, Jenny. The last 2 games, they have been down double digits at halftime, and certainly this is not a venue you want to get too far behind. And for the Aggies, they've got to limit second shots. I alluded to earlier, UNLV averaging 14 offensive rebounds a game in their last 4 games, and they're averaging exactly that same amount of 3-point shots made in those last 4 games at 14. So the Aggies got to get out and protect that 3-point line.
Those keys to the game brought to you by your Southern Nevada Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. UNLV will have the basketball coming out of this timeout. Tomboy pulls up with 7 on the shot clock.
UNLV a little bit bigger now with Big Zhang in. That allows Tomboy to move to a forward instead of guarding a post or playing the post position. But I know UNLV wanted to be a little bit more patient and get the Aggies moved around a little bit. They've kind of fallen back into shooting pretty quick, which is not bad if they're going in, but I think they wanted to be a little bit more patient in talking to the coaching staff.
Miller missed the shot, and then Utah State able to get the basketball back, and Cato working on the inside, misses the hook. UNLV will have an opportunity.
Well, he got it right to the rim. Now remember that first time he got that turnaround dunk, it was on this guy right here, Joe Tomboy, who's not a very good post defender, but that one was on Big Jong, who is a better post defender.
Clyburn for 3, 34% behind the 3-point arc.
The Running Rebels leading scorer and leading three-point shooter.
Getting the ball into Keita again and stripped away. Robotham gets a piece of the ball. So Keita, 6'11", he's big, he's energetic, he can block, and we know he can dunk. 8-5, Utah State. Mountain West basketball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Steel. Find your Steel dealer at steeldealers.com. And by Bojo's Colorado-style pizza. Dine in or take out a legendary mountain pie today. Visit bojos.com. Back at the Spectrum, it's the Aggies with an 8-5 lead, but UNLV hitting a key three to try and get them back in this.
Well, UNLV is 2 of 7 from the field, Jenny, 1 of 4 from 3. And sometimes I'd say, well, maybe that's a little bit too many threes in comparison to their total shots. But they don't have a whole lot of inside scoring. Their injuries have all been to their front line, so they kind of have to depend on that three-point line. But again, in talking to Derek Brown, their assistant coach, they wanted to reverse the ball a couple times and catch the Aggies in a closeout position, maybe get a little bit better three than what they're getting.
Yeah, UNLV missing their best player in Shakir Justin out with a knee surgery that he had 8 games into the season, and Shekna Dembele with his hand, and then we mentioned Zhang coming off of his ankle injury. So all your big guys down and out, you're gonna have to rely on the smaller ones. And Clyburn again for 3 misses.
Well, that was a nice drawn kick to Clyburn, who is, as I say, a pretty good outside three-point shooter. And that guy here is a pretty good passer. And Sam Merrill, he put that one through a crack in the door to the big fella getting to the basket. I tell you, Sam Merrill has great stats, but he makes the game easier for everybody else.
How about that reverse layup from Keita? That was pretty athletic, too.
Well, at times, Keita, and that was a pretty handy shot there by Big Zhang with his offhand, his left hand. Zhang just a sophomore, so another young big guy, young international big guy. At times, back to Keita, he can do things that he looks very, very refined, and then the next trip down the floor, he looks every bit a freshman and is a little bit crude in his offensive development.
Yeah, we're seeing some bright stars in the league and some freshmen on the floor, and you hear that from all their coaches. You see brilliant moves and then a freshman move right after that. Abel Porter hits a 3, and he quickly has 5 points in this game.
Abel Porter, what a great boost he's been to the Aggies in this last 2 weeks after receiving a scholarship from Coach Craig Smith, originally a walk-on.
How about that? Hitting the big shot at New Mexico for the game winner right after it.
Chris Clyburn, for 6'6", only 180 pounds, is a very, very good rebounder. He had 13 rebounds on 2 different occasions last year.
We're going to call a foul on the floor. It's going to go on Abel Porter.
Craig Smith has done a great job, and they've been almost injury-free all year, unlike Marvin Menzies and the Running Rebels. But he has done a great job of developing his bench. They are 8 or 9 deep, and Jenny, I always say that's a skill. You don't just wake up one day with a deep team. You really have to work with this and for both these teams, it's their second game of the week, so bench play will play a big factor in this.
Jonathan Chamba Chichua checking in for UNLV, the big freshman. So Zhang out of the game. Let's see if they can't get him involved early. Hardy's actually going to pull up. And on the miss, Aggies grab the rebound.
Again, that came off of one pass, and no ball reversal. Yeah, the Aggies are wearing them out with that high screen and roll.
And speaking of off the bench, Wayne Brown.
Wayne Brown's kind of turned into a super sixth-man, Jenny. He started 33 games last year for the, 32 of 33 games last year, and has, Coach Smith has talked him in, and he has accepted the role of coming off the bench and giving the Aggies a huge spark.
Scoring double figures in 25 of those starts, so it's a man that can help your offense, and when you can buy into being a bench role guy on a team that is loaded with talent.
Now remember, one of the game keys for the Aggies is to keep it close, and it's starting to get away from him. A great give and go there by the Aggies. The pass by Burrito, the other Portuguese player on this team. I'm sorry, that was by the big guy, Quinn Taylor, who is an outstanding passer. Quinn Taylor had 9 assists in their last game, Jenny. And one thing Sam Merrill does is he makes great instinctive cuts to the basket. That was not a set play. That was just a read by Sam Merrill. When you talk about to coaches around the Mountain West Conference about Sam Merrill, the very first thing they talk about is his great feel and great understanding of the game, and you just got a glimpse of it there.
Three-point play makes it 7 for Merrill in the game. UNLV, just 2 of their last 11, make it 3 of 12.
And Terrion Knight, the freshman out of Santa Fe High School in Oklahoma City, looked like a freshman, then went under that little handoff that allowed Robotham to spot up for that three-point shot. He paid the price for a defensive mistake then.
The Aggies had a fight for the point guard spot. Knight in that mix. But again, a lot of young guys, and who is going to step up? Clyburn steps up and hits his second 3 of the game.
Well, when you're playing transition defense against UNLV, you can't run to the paint and start looking for a guy. You've got to run to the arc and catch him there. Merrill did a pretty good job, a very good defender. Chris Clyburn lives off that three-point line.
Taylor kicks it to the corner, and the ball turned over on a pass. Robotham lays it in. In and out.
Back-to-back turnovers for the Aggies, not helping themselves in any way. Up 6, though, over the running Rebels.
19-13, the home team in front of the home crowd with the advantage. Utah State over UNLV. Tune in Tuesday night for more Mountain West basketball as the Aggies head to Fresno to take on the Bulldogs. Our coverage starts at 7:30 Mountain Time on AT&T Sportsnet, your home for Mountain West basketball. But before they can get revenge at Fresno State, just one of their 2 losses in conference play, Nevada being the other, they got to handle business here today against UNLV.
Well, that Fresno State game, Jenny, they led for almost 39 minutes before the great guard Braxton Huggins from Fresno State hit a dagger, his 8th three-point shot in that game to beat the Aggies, their only home defeat this year. The Aggies shooting 53%, but they've had back-to-back turnovers, Jenny. Their last game, they have 6 assists already. Their last game against San Jose State, they scored 103 points and had 28 assists. That may be the most in the league this year. That's terrific, terrific ball handling and sharing the basketball.
Well, freshman Marvin Coleman knocks his free throws down, a perfect 6 for 6 on the season. Doesn't average very many minutes, but makes him count when he gets the opportunity. On the rebound, JTT as they call him.
And again, 14 offensive rebounds per game in the last 4 games for the UNLV Running Rebels. The Aggies can't afford to give them so many second chance opportunities.
Knight passes off to Taylor, and he's going to do some post work but kick the ball back out.
I'll tell you, Taylor has been rock solid in his senior year. Nice shot by Terrion Knight after making a couple turnovers. What I liked about that, Coach Craig Smith, the young freshman, made a couple turnovers. He left him in, Jenny. Let him go ahead and play through it, and he rewards his coach's confidence by making a jump shot there.
UNLV was on an 8-0 run, so the Aggies stopped that with 2 and trying to answer Clyburn. He does for 3, his 3rd 3 on the game.
And that was a great draw and kick by the new guy on the block, Nick Blair, who just is coming off his first start of the year. And that's what the coaching staff for UNLV is looking for. Penetration and then kick it out 2-3 as opposed to a perimeter pass 2-3. You want to break that defense down and then make them pay by getting that 3.
Robotham contested a shot on one end, takes one on the other, and can't come up with points.
Robotham seems to be very aggressive on offense today. His calling card is that he leads the league in assists. He was only 1 of 8 in his last game. He's not been shy about shooting it up early in this game.
Brito for 3, so the Aggies 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. And a miss for UNLV.
Dwayne Brown getting extended minutes here. We talked about him being a starter last year. And then Brito with that shot, he started 23 games last year for him. The Aggies have an outstanding bench, but they've got 2 guys who started for them last year coming off the bench.
Good cut from Brito. They're going to call the foul on the floor. Marvin Coleman with his second. So now you have a couple of Rebels with 2 fouls apiece.
I really like the way Craig Smith is rotating guys in, not 1 at a time, not 2 at a time, but the last 2 times, 3 at a time. Like I say, he's done a great job of developing his bench. Of course, this is not his first rodeo, Jenny. 4 years as the head coach at South Dakota and the Summit League Coach of the Year there, so he is very well experienced in developing his team and his bench.
Well, Nick Blair just picked up his 3rd foul, and right away Justin Bean is going to have free throws to shoot. Comes in as a spark plug, really off the bench.
Justin Bean and starting point guard Abel Porter both awarded scholarships about 10 days ago. Abel Porter just about 48 hours after being awarded a scholarship, hit the game winner at the pit against New Mexico, and Justin Bean all of a sudden finding himself in a rotation. Not bad for 2 former walk-ons.
Makes the free throw, and Utah State up 25-18.
I kind of think I'm a walk-on broadcaster sometimes.
We gave you a scholarship, Coach.
But
we keep paying you, don't you understand?
But I had to give
that?
it back because of academic issues.
Oh, my goodness. Playing a little volleyball, it's going to stay Rebels ball. You can see Hardy on the floor getting on Joel Tomboy, and again, one of those teaching moments for a freshman, although Hardy not too much older as a sophomore.
I tell you, Hardy is another guy who just got inserted into the starting lineup as they started conference season. He leads the league in assist to turnover ratio. He and Boston have been terrific with dishing out assists and not turning over much. I thought that was a good decision by Porter. He stopped at about, or hesitated, I should say, at about 28 feet. A little hesitation dribble and then took it all the way to the basket. I think his confidence has grown immensely. I had him early in the year, and he barely saw the floor. He's playing like a savvy veteran today.
Gotham picked up his first foul.
This guy's been pretty quiet. Their 3rd leading scorer, Brock Miller. I don't know if he's attempted a shot yet.
Brock Miller's 0-2 from the floor. Got a slow start at San Jose State, and Keita not slow at all. An and-one opportunity.
He is unbelievably long and quick off his feet. Made a nice move here. Took his time. Not able to convert. And Taylor kept it alive. Or no, that was Bean who kept it alive. Give Bean an assist on that, sticking his nose in there. And then Keita catches it. And, man, he is at the rim quick as a hiccup with that length.
There's 2 offensive rebounds for Utah State. And they made it count with points. Can't convert on the free throw for Keita.
Both teams have played all man-to-man. UNLV will play some zone and press some, but they've gone straight man-to-man this entire first half.
Tomboy takes Miller.
Now that's a tough play for Miller to let him catch. He gives up a lot of length there, and Tomboy very calmly for a freshman just put it on the floor, gaining an advantage to the basket. And Miller's not small at 6'6", but he's got to do his homework early defensively.
And there's Miller showing up just on time.
The 2nd leading three-point shooter in the Mountain West Conference during conference play, although he had a rough shooting night against San Jose State. Before that game, Jenny, he was shooting almost 50% from 3.
He was 0 for 6 beyond 3-point against San Jose State. Stayed in the gym after the game to work on his shot to know it would pay off eventually, and it did with that 3.
And you see just a complete void of UNLV of scoring in the middle. And look at Justin Bean, the former Walker. His father played right up the road at Idaho State. Boy, he's getting his nose in everywhere with this Aggie team.
Double-digit lead for the Aggies. They're up by 12, and Porter Jr. trying to make it 14, and a nice block coming from Zhang. Zhang says, not today, at least not right now. 32-20, Utah State.
Jenny, in this very competitive Mountain West Conference game today, we are featuring 4 of the bright young stars of the league. Big Jonathan Chatchua at 6'8" for the Running Rebels, a power forward. We talked about the big fella, Tom Way. Brock Miller, the outstanding shooter for the Aggies. And then the big fella, Keita from Portugal. 4 guys that you're going to see around an awful lot. 2 on each team. And boy, they're fun to watch.
I heard a great story about Keita today, that during summer practices, they were playing some help defense. And Sam Merrill tried to come over to help. He almost wagged his finger like the Dikembe Mutombo said, no, I got him in the paint.
Yeah. He better understand who he's talking to. Sam Merrill could run for mayor around here. I wouldn't talk about him.
Yeah, he's the Aggies through and through. Came to a bunch of games growing up.
His mom and dad were Aggies. I asked a BYU assistant coach once they recruited him. He said, are you kidding me? He was an Aggie when he came out of the womb. We had no chance. Plus, he had a sister that played soccer here.
I think if Sam Merrill and Jalen Moore ran for, mayor, assistant mayor, easy ticket.
No, I tell you. 2 great kids, too. Sam Merrill's also all Mountain West Conference. And I didn't realize it until really this year what a great defender he is. Everyone talks about his great field, great shooter, great passer. He is the best defender on this Aggie team.
So the second foul called in this set.
That was one of those prom date fouls there, Jenny. Keep your hands to yourself, young man. That was pretty ticky-tacky, I think.
So Bean picks up 2 quick fouls within a matter of seconds. And we heard us chanting mean things to the referee. Blocked by Keita, so he thought. That's going to go down as goaltending and 2 points for UNLV.
What a great move by the 6'9" Tom Way. I'm not too sure he didn't get that on the way up. But Joel Tomway, remember, he's 6'9" doing that. He's a guy, you have guys that you can say they're straight line drivers. You got to guard that one move. He just made about 3 different moves there at 6'9", and as a freshman, boy, I tell you, he can get it going.
Oh.
The basket's just too low for that guy.
That's a frustrating sequence back-to-back for Keita. Thought he had a block, thought he had his own rebound and a dunk.
I know. Boy, I tell you, you don't want to take that aggression away, though. Sometimes you got to say, well, let's make a couple better decisions. But I'm not too sure that wasn't a clean block. And that one was just kind of a reaction thing for the big fella. Boy, he's fun to watch. He is so long and quick.
Bryce Hamilton in for UNLV in a 3-second call.
Now, if I was just an everyday fan, I may call that a makeup call. But being a member of the media and a former college coach, I would never say that about my friends with stripes.
You love your friends with stripes. And not the zebras at the zoo. We're talking about the ones in the basketball court.
I'm not sure they love me all the time, but we're a lot better friends now that I'm over here with you than when I was on the sideline.
No, when they give you a T, that means they like you, right?
Yeah, like thanks. I always thought that meant thanks for all your help.
Quinn Taylor not getting any help, rather fouling.
I tell you, Quinn Taylor is the ultimate ball movement guy. Man, he gets that ball moved around the perimeter and really helps from that Aggie offense. He's a guy you don't notice much, Jenny. He is second on the team in assists, rebound, and field goal percentage. He is what I call a star role player.
Foul on the floor.
That was legit. That was legit.
Brock Miller picking up his first. 6th for the Aggies.
Now, what a great advantage or great luxury Coach Smith has for bringing Diogo Brito in, a kid who started 23 games last year for Brock Miller, who just picked up his second foul or his third foul?
That was his first foul.
I kind of gave him one earlier. Big Keita just kind of corralled that rebound. Great ball move.
And good for three, Brito.
And Sam Merrill, a terrific pass, finding Brito in the corner. Sam Merrill coming off a 29.8 assist game.
Hamilton gets blocked by Keita. He averages 2.5 a game. You know he'd come up with one this first half.
Now you're seeing the Aggies individually show off their stuff with great passing by Merrill and then the blocking shots by Keita.
Merrill finishing with points, 9 right now on the day. And a timeout called by UNLV as the lead builds for the Aggies to 15 points. 37-22. The Herd loves it here at the Spectrum. 37-22, Utah State over UNLV, and it is the freshman Keita doing damage. Said he averages 2.5 blocks, already has 3 in this game, and now has the single season record for freshmen with 56 blocks.
And he's got a whole bunch of the season ahead of him. The thing about him, he can come from down the street and get a block on you. I mean, he is so long and quick. It actually ties David Collette's record, who had a great couple years here and then transferred to the University of Utah and had a great career. But, man, Keita had, like I say, I think he's had the biggest impact, freshman or not, of anybody in the league this year.
UNLV coming out of that timeout looking for points quick. The shot clock rolling. Robotham finds a cutting Marvin Holman.
What a terrific pass by Robotham, the conference leader in assists in league games. He has 11 games with over 5 assists. Yes, in the last 7 of 8 games, he's had 6 assists or more. That's about the third old-fashioned give and go by the Aggies. Just great passing. Once again by Quinn Taylor and Abel Porter. Just looks like he's out playing in the park right now, Jenny. He's having a ball.
So Porter with points above his average of 3.5 a game. Points on the other end for UNLV. Zhang up to 6.
Sometimes you can be the best defender on the court playing the best defense. Good offense trumps good defense every day. Zhang just jumped up and made a tough jump hook there. Again, another young big guy.
Keita with the rebound. Can't get the putback. Gets stripped away by Robotham.
Nice play by Robotham. Quick hands, getting it down around his waist. Robotham doing a good job of trying to control the tempo a little bit with his teammates.
Foul trouble. Coleman playing a bit more and makes a mistake that converts to points on the other end for Abel Porter.
And Abel Porter out of Davis High School down the road is having a terrific first half here for the Aggies.
9 points for Porter, shooting 50% from the floor. Clyburn on the other end, shooting quite well for UNLV.
Clyburn is long, Jenny. At 6'6", he also has long arms. He's got a real high release point on that jump shot, so it doesn't take a whole lot of room, if any, for him to get that shot off.
He's playing in double digits with 11. And the answer on the other end for Brito.
The second three-pointer for Brito that Sam Merrill has assisted him on. Brito ought to take him to dinner after the game. Or take me to dinner one.
I was going to say, aren't you taking us to dinner?
I bought a pound of bologna and a loaf of bread in the car with me. Watch this great pass by Merrill if we get it in there, finding Brito. And again, Sam Merrill's 6'6", so he can kind of look over the defense That's one out of that corner. The one before that, Sam Merrill caught and kind of counterflowed it, threw it back across the defense to the right-hand corner. As I said before, you can say all the good things you want about Sam Merrill. The best thing about him is he makes the game easier for his teammates.
So the bonus on the other end for Keita. And he makes.
You know, that went up there with a ton of backspin on it. He's a 64% free throw shooter, which isn't bad for a big fella, but it comes out of his hands really nice. Again, with that, he got a shooter's roll in that. That touched the rim about 3 different times. Boy, this kid is just going to be terrific down the road. I mean, he's terrific now, but boy, what a high season.
Well, they almost don't make him any better. Coming in a pre-made box, 6'11", 240.
I can feel the 240 part, but the other part I have trouble. You know, he's an amazing story. Like I said, Craig Smith gets a job here, Jenny, and when you get a new job, you're just kind of taking leftovers almost recruiting-wise. And I saw they signed this kid from Portugal, didn't give it much thought, and boy, it wasn't long before the rumors started circulating about this kid, and he is the real deal at 6'11".
It wasn't just a signing, it was a centerpiece. So free throws on the other end. As UNLV in the bonus, Tomboy can't convert on the first, and on the rebound, the Aggies have the ball.
Keita's free throws actually look better than Tomboy, and Tomboy's a 40% three-point shooter. That resembled a little bit of a big little Terry knuckleball in that. Wow.
Merrill just steps around Clyburn. And it's another three. It's his first three.
One of the real subtleties to his game. He has a terrific shot fake. It's real quick and compact. He doesn't overstep it, so he gets you up in the air. He rhythms right into his shot.
47th three of the season for Merrill. Clyburn doesn't even hit rim on his three attempts.
And while I'm bragging on Merrill's offense, we might as well throw in what a great defensive play that was. That was off a down screen trying to get Clyburn a jump shot, and Merrill was on him like freckles on a redhead, Jim.
Miller for three off the iron, and it's going to be a foul on Keita.
Watch this really short, efficient shot fake here coming off, and watch where he doesn't overstep it, and he's able to get right into his shot, and he's shooting that. That's a great matchup, him and Clyburn. They're two long, really, really, really good perimeter guys at 6'6". Look at Sam Merrill talking to referees. He's just a joy to watch. He got married this summer. That may be why he's so happy. He got married this summer.
That's right.
I hope my wife's listening to that.
Congratulations to him and his wife, a Utah State soccer player. John with the 1-and-1. And that'll go off of Merrill and stay UNLV basketball.
Well, it's amazing. One of the keys I talked about, Jenny, I meant to get this in earlier. UNLV needed to stay in it early and keep it close, and all of a sudden you look up and they're down 20, 48 to 28. They've been down double digits in their last two losses.
So Hardy drives, and floater doesn't go. That ball off of the Rebels. So Beck knocks it out of bounds, and the Aggies will have a chance to build on their already 20-point lead before the half.
It's that time of year. I used to tell my team, Jenny, every week you got a chance to play your way into contention or out of contention. Marvin Menzies got his team off to the best conference start in 20 years, and now they've lost 2 in a row, and things aren't looking real good here.
Up by 20, not enough. They're not going to quit playing. Porter knocks the ball out of bounds.
Well, this is after if you've lost 2 in a row, and here have been their losses at San Diego State, no sin there. To number 7 Nevada, no sin there. And this is not an easy place to try to come to and get well.
So Hardy's going to get the last shot. He can't go. Air ball for UNLV, and a lot like their first half. Just 31% from the floor is all they shot. and down 20. 48 points for Utah State to build their halftime lead.
Pretty impressive first half, over 50% for the Aggies from the field and from the three-point line. And they are up huge by 20.
We'll get to know Coach Craig Smith when we return.